time is Let Me Be Real time. All I don't know, my name is Kyle Joseph. In the house, we have a special guest here with us. Her name is Unikana Ryan. Let's give her something.
Good night, everyone.
Because I don't know the name of the topic. We will give the topic. We'll understand why she's special. We have Mark in the house here.
Well, yes.
And then
I don't know
Crystal
what
Martin.
is wrong with Kyle. I don't know. Good night, everybody. Good night. I don't know what is up with our host tonight, but we got to pray for him, right?
Special friend, Evadel. Well, give Evadel something.
Good night, Facebook. Good night, YouTube. Welcome to the Real Talk Show, guys. And we are live at number 12 Anna Street, Woodbrook. And as we all know, I'm sure you all looked at the page. I'm sure you all know what we're talking about. We're talking about fat shaming, guys. Serious things. I mean, it's a real current situation that is that like a little thing when going on for those of you all who don't know, who are probably not in Trinidad, a little scene playoff, yeah. So that is what we kind of grounded the show on, guys, and we are talking about fat shaming tonight. So we want to hear what you think, because clearly plenty people have plenty things to say. People all up there and people all the way down there, people everywhere had something to say about fat shaming. So tonight we want to know, Facebook, what do you think about fat shaming? Do you think, firstly, I have a direct question I want to ask you all, right? Do you think that fat is an offensive word? Let me hear what you all think, okay? So we're going to get things started. We're going to go to Kyle just now, but I want to tell you all the awesome giveaways we have tonight. So we have a multimedia speaker sponsored by Mega Mark, none other, guys, than Mega Mark Computer Services. All right, guys? So for all of your computer services needs, anything you need, guys, data recovery, virus removal, or even prevention, software and hardware installation, anything you need, just give him a call, all right? His number is 733-6157 or 330-8791. And we also have a real special prize here of virtual reality with stereo headphone headset, all right? I know a lot of you all want to win this, and I am reserving this specifically for you guys who call in, all right? But before I get into that part, this was sponsored by none other than Carl's Construction, guys. For any of your construction needs, guys, whether it be backfill, material, they specialize in even foundations and so on for building houses. Anything you need, you just give him a call, all right? His number is 385-2775, and that is the Baco Man, or just ask for Alberto Mendez. So in order for you to win that prize, you have to call in, all right? Or you could send your voice note, but that prize is specifically for calls. So the number that you're calling is 492-TALK or 492-8255. So guys, begin to share. We now getting things started. This is going to be a serious show tonight. I actually excited. We might have some story. I am excited because I want to hear what, I might actually learn some things, you know, because I think this show going to help all of us on this show. Probably except Crystal.
I know I'm going to say
Crystal,
not everybody needs help.
Crystal and I get there, right? But the rest of us, guys, this going to help us. It's going to help me for sure, for sure. All right? So we're going to go back to Kyle now. We're going to get things started. Start to share, right, guys? Share it to everyone. Go on and just scroll all the way down where you see that share button and share it to all of your contacts. We now starting. We're going to have an awesome show tonight, all right? And let me hear what you all think, all right? Because you all have to win those prizes. Oh, I almost forgot. We also have a Starbucks voucher that we're giving away tonight as well. So awesome prizes, all right? All you have to do is comment to qualify. Kyle, take it away.
Hey, good night, everybody. I know we're talking about today fat shaming, but apparently we have a special guest in the country from G-Unit, Young Buck.
Oh.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
I had to find the Lost Avenger, but we're taking out with this.
You know what is amazing me about this Buck situation? How long it is in the news. I can understand one story.
7 days.
I can understand one story, yeah. Everybody say, oh, a Buck in where? Gasparillo, yeah. But this has been going on now for a week. Yeah, every other day, there's a new development with this Buck, and it's making national news, TV news.
There's documentaries and things coming out about the Buck. There's a lot of interest.
Yes.
I personally find the Buck is a breath of fresh air.
What?
Just for me.
From?
I mean, even though the Buck is not necessarily a nice person, the news that we've been getting over the past few days has been so bad.
It's a good comic relief then.
That's
what to say.
Taking your attention away from the
Okay,
bad
now,
news.
it's an interesting
Yeah,
spin.
that's my opinion.
Like, that's a whole other topic though, but it's a real thing. I mean, we won't get into it,
Yeah.
but I know people think it's, hey, what shipping is they talking? But, you know, there's some truth to it, but we're not going to go there, you know?
Nice. You know, on this show we have a special guest who, you know, we're going to have a nutritionist who's going to be coming on after the segment. But before we start, we put Keelan the Hunter to the charge to find out what Trinidad and Tobago think about fat shaming. So we want to see what the people's opinion. We want to hear what people have to say first to find out what is really happening. So, but what throw up that video there, DJ?
Wheel it.
Come on, I guess I'm just a misfit, huh? Yeah. Not coming right now? No, not coming right now?
Ford Khan recently said to people he called tubs, the bigger people in this world, shut up and lose the weight. I don't know. You gotta tell me what you think about that.
Well, I think that he did it in a way that was too like hostile, and like you just don't talk to people like that. If you think that someone should lose weight, you should like try to encourage them, use a different kind of language instead of just pushing it on them, because that could be very disrespectful.
I'm an athlete.
He's an athlete.
Yeah, I'm an athlete. I fit.
Man fit.
So that's how I just take care of my body. You know, I don't think he was in the position to tell people how to take care of their body. Even though it's not healthy, I think he was not in the position to tell somebody what they should do, how they should eat, how much they should weigh, you know? Yeah.
So I understand where Ford Khan was coming from, but he was really out of timing to attack the person like that.
I think he was more than out of timing.
You think it's okay to make fun of somebody? Say, ha ha, fat boy, what you seen, boy? You put on some weight there, boy. I don't know, you gotta tell me.
I think that determines how close you and somebody is. I have friends I can call fat, nickname, fat boy, fatters, fats, and they're okay with that because they know they're fat, and I could call them fat because we're friends, but I don't think it's okay to just go to a stranger and laugh and say, hey, fatty, you don't know this person, but you call them fat, you know? That's just my take on that.
All they hear them real creative nicknames. Fat boy, fats, what's the next one?
Eat a whale.
Eat a whale.
Yeah.
You understand? It's a friendship, it's an understanding. You understand? If you're out there, eat a whale, big up, eat a whale.
It depends on the situation, because if I and my friend close and I know her long and I call it, I say, hey, fat girl. We have that type of relationship, but nobody in the street could call my friend fat girl because no, you don't.
Hey! You can't be calling my friend fat girl. That's between me and she.
Well, I was on the receiving end of it as a youngster coming up. Puffy cheeks, all the nicknames and whatnot. I was a little bit chubby. But as you grow up, you throw off the weight and whatnot.
As you grow up, all you hear that inspiration. As you grow up, you throw off the weight. I don't know, that's what the man say.
I did shame one or two people.
One or two is normally 3 or 4, but that's a small thing, right?
It was 1 or 2.
1 or 2, we're good 1 or 2, right?
But I felt bad about it after, and one of them I did apologize to. So
you see, that's the bigger person right there, you apologize.
I'm a primary school teacher, so I know the name calling does no good, you know? But I think people gonna call your names whether you're fat or you're skinny or you're too smart, you're too dumb, you know? So everybody will get talked.
So if your boyfriend, your husband, somebody close to you, call you fat, say girl, you're looking fat, in that dress, girl, you're looking fat. How you feel, what you say, what you'll do, I don't know, you gotta tell me.
Well, I'll put them in a place, because once I feeling good and I think I looking good and presentable to go out into the world, that is me. You could keep your opinion to yourself.
Hey, I come out here in the world, I feeling confident with how I feeling. Leave me alone, right? Keep your opinions to yourself.
It is coming from a good place, and I might be like, well, maybe I need to do some running, you know?
Yeah. All right, you see how he might take it in. He might meditate on it while eating that extra donut. He go say, maybe the other point, I don't know.
Hey, check yourself. I mean, you must have an idea what it look like. So you must know if you're adding on the little extra pounds. But people close to you would tell you. So
people close to you would tell you, you gotta check yourself, see that mirror? Make sure the mirror calibrated. Because sometimes the mirrors not calibrated and make it look a little skinnier or bigger than you thought, right? So it's good to ask people who care about something like Liberia. So you tell me.
Yeah, I think my morals tend to be a little skewed sometimes too. So I just ask the question. So let me know if I gain in.
Wow, that's a new one. We didn't hear that for the night. I don't think we'll ever hear that again. She says, hey, I gonna ask, hey, I gain a little fat. I don't know, that's brave.
Larry, be real.
Larry, be real.
Larry, be real.
Larry, be real.
You see how easy that was? I feel to eat some more food, so let's check me back, right? What are there? Polari? Ah, cut.
Well, I hear about from the man himself, right? That the people is calling Trinidad.
Eat a wheel.
Eat a wheel, right? Yeah?
I think what was the most interesting comment to me, which is so true, the school teacher who said, if you're fat, you'll get talk. If you're skinny, you get talk. If you're too bright, you get talk. If you're too dense, you get talk. If you get talk in Trinidad for every single thing. I mean, fat is one. Yeah. But I think women take a special offense.
I don't
to
know why it is that is like the most special one. Because let's be real, right? I think in school, I think I see more people get talks for skinny. When they're real skinny and maga, they get real talks. But it had people who was overweight. But they never really get them talks because they might have seemed a little more offensive to call somebody
fat
overweight.
and
Fat and
about
the skinny man, you have no problem saying, but you real maga, no girl go like you and whatever. But the person ain't gonna really touch that. But so why that is? Why they think that is?
Do you mean why fat is such a sensitive?
Yeah, why people are a little more, you know, sensitive to that area?
I think because, well, we go in there real early, but I think it's because the whole stigma behind beauty and what beauty is to society, and it's certainly not fat, right? I mean, people don't like to hear that. I probably say it and people getting vexed right now. What is she saying? Because I'm fat, I'm not beautiful. The fact of the matter is, I know growing up as a child, I did not associate fat with beauty in any way, form, or fashion. Because that's not what was portrayed in the media or
you're not saying anywhere. Right or wrong,
right? Yeah, someone's saying it's right. So I was just trained that way to not see fat as anything beautiful, right? But the world is changing now, and people speaking out against, you know, that kind of thing. Stigmas. Nobody wants stigmas anymore. Even if you're short, you can't say you're short. Don't tell me I'm short, even if I'm short, right? The buck probably, he must be scared.
Well, the guy said that the buck is short and fat.
Right, the buck is short and fat.
Growing up, though, I would get a lot of tease for being short and for not talking to girls. So that was the two main things I would actually be.
Being short and not talking to girls, man?
Yeah.
They used to say,
they used to tell me, they used to call me a target. Just change the T to an F.
Oh, God! They used to call you a target, just change the T to an F.
But that used to call me that all the time.
They used to call you gay in other words?
Yeah.
Okay, you don't want to say
all the time. And well, as a child, the only like bigger person I had as a role model, even though, well, I was relative, would have been Beulah. She's the only person that would be on shows acting, and she broke the mold. Beulah.
Okay.
I would say she broke the mold for acting and things, because she would act and stuff, and she was really good.
Right.
Yeah.
And also, lastly, they don't have any, all the mannequins were thin and all the models were same size. It didn't add anything, and they would say, this is beauty, you know?
Right.
So yeah, even, and well, we had,
but anyway, this whole show came about from that story with Candace Santana and the Minister Fawad Khan. And I think, if I remember her story correctly, director, were we able to get a video?
I don't think so.
No. Okay, if I remember her story correctly, she was trying on her costume or picking it up or something, and some ladies passed who themselves were overweight, and they made a comment to her and saying, hey, that is not for us, girl, basically saying, why you putting on a costume, something like that. And I think from that now, she went public and, you know, made her statements in defense to that kind of thing, and the minister took up a fire rage. I don't know. He seemed very passionate about overweight, and while what he was saying, to some extent,
he's the former Minister of Health.
Former Minister of Health. So I guess that'll be his right. Yeah. He's not a minister anymore, right?
Yeah.
He started to talk about health in the country and how it's a serious matter. But then he was very...
his delivery definitely needed some...
Yeah, he said some really mean things to her.
How it was said.
What's the word I'm looking for?
Venomous.
Is it derogatory?
Derogatory terms to her. And yeah, it, you know, very offensive. If I were her, I would feel very offended by some of the things that he said. So it was hard to, even though what he said was good, it was hard to take the good because of
how
his
how he
delivery.
Even though he's trying to say that it's supposed to be healthy, he shouldn't be calling nobody
names. No.
Tank and all kind of talk about any kind of thing like that.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be calling people names like that.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why, I mean, yeah, we talking about giving people talks on names, right? They can't really. Well, that is human. Everybody had to be able to know. Well, even though somebody wrong and telling you in your personal self, you have to be able to know how to overcome maybe certain insecurities or whatever things like that, right? So my point is this, right? I'm not saying it right, but I want to get into the other part of it where people might say, well, because fat shaming is not only giving people talks, right? It's also like you go for a job. And you can't really, they don't really give you the job because you're looking at you know, overweight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know you drive taxi, and I know there's a realm of, even with taxi drivers.
Me?
No, I'm not saying you. With taxi drivers, maybe you could help my let me know. Is it true that some taxi drivers, not saying you, but some of them, that they even want to pick up overweight people?
Me? Where you notice that?
You're on the board. You're on the board.
But I do see sometimes the bigger people, the taxi drivers tend to want to avoid them for various reasons, and you could see it on their face that they know what's going on.
You
and
mean the people, the passengers?
The bigger person,
right.
the person that bigger.
They realize that the taxi driver don't want them.
Know.
Right.
They know, especially.
But what some of the reasons they have though?
I wouldn't know. But but if I was to try to guess, if I was to try to guess, because I mean I could see how it could be offensive. People just tend to say, boy, it might be trouble for everybody to fit in the, like if you're in the back seat or whatever, and that kind of thing. So I think that is why.
And there's some serious stigmas attached to fat people. You know, we were talking about it before. One, I think, of the biggest stigmas attached to fat people is that all fat people are lazy. Yes. Everybody assumes that fat means lazy. It means you're just, whatever, you're slow, you're lazy, and that's a stigma that's not true. That's not true. Another thing, people assume that all fat people are gluttons. That they sit down and they just ravish food and like they have no control. That is also not true.
Okay.
We were also saying, I mean, this one rough, but that all fat people tend to be sweaty and smelly. So that was a reason that people were saying, I mean, I'm just telling you, in school, people would say these things, right? You don't want to sit down next to this person, you know, somebody who might be bigger because you're assume and all of those things are stigmas. They are not true. I know some very skinny, slim, bony, smelly people.
Wait,
not an ounce of fat.
What are the skinny?
Skinny, bony.
Skinny, bony,
not an ounce of fat.
She added that skinny
and actually, I don't know if I've ever smelled a fat person. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I've had to be real. So
it's
just a stigma, right? And I guess being in that position would not be an easy thing if you live in your life and that's what you have to deal with. You're going a taxi and somebody assume, or you know what I mean? That's not. You go for a job, and if it's you against the slim person,
you're going to think well.
More than likely, the boss, the person might give the slimmer person, you know, for whatever reasons they have in there. But I think the world is trying to change that now, which is where this whole fat shaming thing, you know, came in. I actually went to a water park and saw a sign, no fat shaming, in Florida. They actually had signs saying no fat shaming.
So is it that, I really want to know, right? Or let tell me online, right? Is it that when it is, because they say, like, say somebody really is overweight, that if you really say something about it, is it that you can't? Well, I mean, is that, I really want to know if it is like how the person say, like, in the video, on for the street, she say, if somebody say that you're looking big in the dress,
she will put them in their place. She will put them in their place.
But is it a realm where it has some sense of a truth and that it is people just don't want to maybe touch on that subject anymore, that they define, you know?
I am married. And director, do you have the picture of me from before?
Good fit.
Director has the picture. Is it possible to put up that picture?
I think you probably have one of me. You have one of me, Philip?
Oh, you didn't give him?
No, they didn't give him that.
I gave him one of me.
That's all right.
Okay, anyway, so I was talking about, I was going to talk about as a woman, right? Married woman, I could tell you, it's here in your husband. No, and I know Kevin really well.
Lord.
I would know when he would try. He would come in all angles, where you could just simply say, "Nix, you're looking fat enough," right? He would never say it like that because he learned his lesson early now. It's 18 years you married, right? So he would probably say, you know, you had to dance around it, you know.
Well, why do?
Gosh, because I think that a lot of, again, if you tell me I'm fat, you're telling me I don't look beautiful, you're telling me I don't look pretty, I'm your wife.
Yes, it's what you have
I don't want to,
associated in your mind,
no, I'm not saying,
I know,
I'm not saying that's what you are saying. I'm
Yeah.
saying that's how a woman might feel.
Interpret it, yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So if your husband, if you dress to kill and your husband come and say, maybe that dress might be fitting a little too old.
Yeah.
You know, it might be a little get small for you. You know, it's not that you big.
Yeah, it gets a little
Dress maybe shrink a bit in the
Right.
dryer, right?
Yeah.
But I know it's a sensitive thing. It's not an
But
easy
how
thing
that
to come
helping
out
you
and
lose
say.
weight though? If it is somebody come out and say that. What I mean is if you say the clothes get too small for you.
Oh gosh, I not say he you know, no, he
Well, I
would-
just say now,
yeah.
because even to mention sometimes that topic, even especially with
To bring it up in
relationships, when they bring up and they say,
relationships, it's a tough
I
thing.
think you maybe need to lose some weight.
Some
It's-
weight, yeah.
it's boom! Wham! You know, it's turned into a whole drama, and you know.
The first time he told me that, actually, I did not need to lose weight. He himself admitted it the other day. He was like, if I knew back then.
Wait, just compare now.
The first time he told me that, I certainly did not lose the I now looking back, I did not need to lose any weight, right?
Right.
But it was an issue. So
when you
the
brought
next
it
time
up-
that he said that maybe was, you know, some good years.
So fellas, tell me what they think. You said, you know, is that right? Should your
I
mind
just
and then
being
shit, you
real.
know?
I
At
just
our
being
point,
real.
I want to hear their opinion. If they ever went through that scenario where they say, well, or even women tell me, well, if it is
Yeah.
you comfortable with the person you love, and you know you're supposed to be sharing your life with and the transfer, and the person who want to help you, and maybe in order to help you, maybe I have to tell you you're gaining weight. There's no way around it. You know, you can't buttercoat that. It's like, hey, you're smaller again. You know what I mean? It's like, it's going to say that, right?
Yeah.
If you feel comfortable enough for somebody to say that, you know what I mean? Because, yeah.
If you feel comfortable.
Yeah, so let me hear it is going on online there by the time, Eva.
All right, so let me start off by saying good night to a few people. Remember, guys, in order for you to win the headset, the VR headset, sponsored by Carl's Construction again, you have to call in, all right? So give us a call, let us hear what you think. Maybe you have a question, whatever it is, okay? And that number that you're calling is 492-8255 or 492-TALK. So I'm going to start off with the comments, all right? I want to say good night to everybody that's tuned in and looking on with us. Let's say good night to Kevin Narine, Anthony McLeod, Eniala, Lisa Beckles, Kiva Laborde. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. So she says, I would take it as motivation to exercise, you know. So I wouldn't feel offended by them calling me fat. Just know the next time you see me is a different story. Kiva, I really like that one. I agree with that one. Let's say good night to Keisha Nash. Let me see. Anthony McLeod. He says the word in itself isn't derogatory. The use of it can be. It can be subjective since different people are sensitive to different levels to it. It can be offensive, so we have to be careful in using it. I won't condemn the word, but push for caution and sensitivity. Agreed. Lisa Beckles, she says, here now, go by that short thing. There's a whole lot of short shaming, well, maybe more than fat. More than fat shaming, Lisa, yeah. Nah, man, Lisa, yeah. You overdo it there. Let's see. Yes, I know that's one. Right, Kevin and Ryan, he said the models skinny and look anorexic. So fat is coined by the world, but healthy is the goal indeed. Sabrina Lee, why people feel fat sexy and skinny is not? I don't know, Gail. I gotta ask somebody who think fat is sexy and skinny isn't. Good night to you. This is the first time I'm seeing your name, so welcome. Any other search, you would get talk regardless, but certain things could get sensitive. Body over and fat are the two main, body odor, I believe she meant to say body odor and fat are the two main ones. True. We saying good night to Ricardo Ricky Smith, KD. We have a comment from Dane Chan. Everyone is too sensitive and wants to copy everything the United States does. Anthony McLeod, he says, I won't compare them. It boils down to how insecure someone is about their size and how they view it in society. Adele Danielle, good night to you. She says, we can never please the minds of others. The person with the perfect shape will still be the talk of others. So fat or skinny, people gonna talk. Let me get one more comment in. Eniala Stewart. She says, in Trinidad, you will get talk regardless, but certain things can be sensitive to talk to someone about. Body, or she was reposting the correction of how old. I'm saying good night to Mrs. Anderson. Anita Nichols, good night to you. And let me do my first giveaway. Let's see, who is my first giveaway gonna go to? Kiva. I'm saying yes, Kiva Laborde, good night again to you. And you are the winner of, what's that? Oh, okay, yes. Yeah, Kifa, you are the winner of our Starbucks voucher, right? Congratulations to you. So, y'all guys, you see how easy that is, right? You just have to comment, and you can qualify to win a giveaway. Let me see lower down. I want to try to get as much comments in as possible. Roseanne St. Bernard, she says, good night to you. It always amazes me when people feel the need to tell you you are getting fat when we all own mirrors. True. When I get fat, I can see it. Let's see who else we have here. Lisa Beckles, I would be comfortable with my husband telling me I'm gaining weight. In fact, I have put on some weight this year, and some friends and family have told me about it, and we laugh. Small thing. I'm saying good night to, I believe it's Ava Marie Knight. I like honesty. Please tell me I'm gaining too much weight. Yeah, let me be real. That's what the show is about, right? We're being real. Thank you, Aniala. Sparkle Lynch, don't mind hearing the truth. Would rather hear the truth than a beautiful lie. I really like that one, Sparkle. All right, are we ready on the set? All right, so we're gonna go back.
Endo?
Say that again.
No, she's not saying that.
Okay.
She did not say that. She just said she don't want to be lied to her.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's one of those people, you know. She's one of those people. Alright, we're going back to Kyle now, alright? Remember, guys, all you have to do is call. But you're calling when they come to me for the comments and any questions, any comment that you have, you're calling that number in order to win the VR headset, right? The number again is 492-8255 or 492-TALK. We're going to go back to Kyle now.
Hey, well, you know, it's just a true statement, right? That, you know, sometimes, you know, when in a marriage, it's better to hear the truth from somebody. Yeah, would you rather to hear the truth from your husband than you hear him telling somebody else, you know?
Of course.
But, you know, there's something, you know, it doesn't have
Maybe
that
write
way.
me a note?
Huh? But anyhow, you're seeing Mark has just disappeared, you know what I mean? He's just gone, you know what I mean? And we have, you know, a better upgraded version.
Oh gosh, no.
Maria Elias from Empower Nutrition. I want to give her a round of applause. Yeah. Now she's our in-house nutritionist who's going to help us because there's a reality. So nice to meet you. This is actually the first time I'm meeting you and everything. Yeah, so we will have some like serious questions online. If you all have any questions for us as well, as we go along, maybe you all could ask, right? So one of the first questions I want to ask is, do you think obesity is an issue in Trinidad and Tobago?
Oh, of course.
It is?
There is undoubtedly. It's a problem, right? Just from statistics, the statistics are real.
Right.
It's going up.
Okay.
So overweight. So let's define the terms a little bit first, cool. Right? So overweight technically would be, they use the BMI scale, right? And BMI scale, to clarify, is just your height to weight ratio.
Sure, right.
So they've through assessing hundreds, thousands of individuals, they came up with this is a healthy weight for this particular height, right? So on a BMI scale, a healthy range is from about 19 to 25, just about 24.9, right? 25 to 20.
I think 90.9, I'm joking.
25 to 29.9, so anything under 30, you're overweight.
Whoa.
Right? So overweight is actually not that much of a health risk.
Right.
It's more of an image issue, right? It's when you start going into the obese category, so BMI over 30
is considered
obese.
Okay.
And BMI over 40 is a horrible, horrible term. I hate to say it, and I hate how it sounds, but it's called morbid obesity.
Right.
Whoa.
Right?
Well, I just don't like the word obese anyhow.
I don't like the word obesity either. But yeah, basically, it's an indication that the higher the BMI goes, the increase in health risk. Right? And just to differentiate BMI from body fat, there's a difference, right? So we have to consider that when we're talking about obesity. Most of us don't, which is a problem. We just look at people and judge them without say they're fat just because they're bigger than the average. Right? But there are people whose BMI may be high, right? Just in a practical sense, every bodybuilder, you see their BMI is
muscle is heavier than fat.
Exactly, because they are above the recommended weight for their height. But their body composition is in a healthy range.
Some relief.
All right, bodybuilder Kyle. All right.
I was wondering, you know.
Okay.
I was wondering, you know, this muscle weight, you know.
I understand, it's hard, and people judge you, you know, not knowing it's all muscle. Right? But
look at you encouraging them. Makes me fun.
The reason this is important is because, okay, let's take it away from the bodybuilders and back into regular people or women, for example. I'm laughing because people say, oh, that's a real thing. You know, when you're in school younger and people say, oh, you're just big boned. You know, my granny tell me I just big bone.
Big bone,
but and people think it's not a real thing, but it is a real
thing.
I used to claim that it's a real thing.
Big bone is a real thing?
Right? Yeah.
Of course, Kyle.
You all want to do it right now? We can do it. Okay.
Yes,
so you take.
Because I want facts, because I used to say it. Let me see.
Please
let me do it.
While you watch this, let me hear.
Index finger and your thumb finger.
Right.
And on your other hand, you put it around your wrist.
Right.
Right? So if they, and as far as they can go,
do it.
As tight
do it, Monica, do it.
Come on, this
so if it meets what? If it meets your big bone.
Right, so if it overlaps like me, that means you're small bone. Right? If the fingers are overlapping. If they are touching, just touching, then you're medium, average
so
size.
not big bone then.
If they can't touch, then you're big bone.
Let me see. She squeezed it. Look, you're cutting off circulation there.
Look, it's touching.
But that means you're normal.
So it means I'm normal.
Yes.
I think you're using two wrong
Exactly.
fingers.
Oh, not normal. Which she was using? It's your index.
Not the word is not normal because all of them are normal.
Right.
Medium.
It's your index finger, Nika.
Yes.
That's what I was using.
Yeah, she can. Just joking with her, yeah.
You want me to be big?
So that's a measurement for what is it? Big boneness?
Well, they call it body frame.
All right, body frame.
So your body frame. So you have small frame, you have medium frame, you have large frame. Right? And that has nothing to do with fat. That's just your bone structure. Most of it is genetic. So asking a real question,
right? But if it is like maybe you see you are obese, wouldn't that affect your wrist to reach?
Being able to go around. I was not thinking that.
To some degree, but your wrist, most people don't have fat wrists even when they're fat.
That's true.
But also they would kind of gauge, okay, did your wrist used to be a lot smaller than it is now? You would know, okay, I used to have really small wrists. And versus I've always been this size, you know?
Maybe this size,
I learned something today. I didn't know you could have actually checked for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Tonika, all right.
All creation? They have big boneness?
I don't know. I specialize in humans.
Okay, I just want to know if when I go next time I go
where?
I think when next time I go KFC, if I can ask for a big bone chicken, so I just want to make sure.
Somebody come get Kyle, please. Come get him.
Anyhow, continue. Yeah.
Right? Okay, good. Yeah. So once we are clear, we're talking about
we just want to know, yes.
Right. So yes, we do have to consider not just BMI, which is just height to weight, but you also want to consider body composition. So at Empower Nutrition, when clients come in, one of the first things we do is use a device. Looks like a scale, but it's a body composition analysis. So that we gauge how much muscle, how much fat, bone, water. So we get a better picture of what's going on inside rather than looking at the outside and judging.
Right. Okay.
Right?
Got it.
So those are some important points you want to think about before you judge a person.
So I may not be fat.
You may not. It's possible to be overweight.
All right.
And have a normal body fat composition. It is possible.
Oh, okay.
It's possible.
It's possible.
Right? But you want to be honest with yourself. And
Thank you, Moea. very diplomatic. Thank you, Moe. You want to be honest with yourself.
This is a scientific thing, so it's not for you to judge.
Right.
on a device that may evaluate, you know, scientifically what your body composition is. And it's a good thing I think everyone should do at some point to get an idea of where you are, honestly, right?
So actually, I did something. Sorry, as I said, that I did my trainer a couple of weeks ago. She had someone come in. I can't remember the name of the company, but they were actually able to the device is able to say what age you were, but you know what I'm talking about, so right? So I might be one age, but based on
your
whatever
metabolic
it says,
age.
Yes, it says, and could you believe that? So it says that I'm actually a little ashamed to say, but I know for me, it says I was actually older than what my real age was.
I would think so.
Right.
Wait, he was older than you. What do you think the machine saying?
The machine was saying that she's actually older than she is.
No, the machine, right, but
I would think so.
Crystal, why did you even bother to make
because we're being real and I just, you know, I'm just being real. But let me finish my point, but she's trying to get back to me, but it's okay. One of the things that could be lack of sleep too, and I have very poor sleeping habits. So, and actually that morning when I did the test, I only got maybe about 2 hours sleep.
Habits?
Yeah, that's why I sleep
something, Every time we just continue our conversation, she will fall asleep.
No, she's right. She does not sleep. That's why she's always falling asleep, because she does not get proper sleep.
And that morning when I did the test, I actually just got 3 hours of sleep. So when I mean, it kind of showed me a little bit.
This test real accurate, but you tell it the night before and things.
I'm trying to help.
But I have a question maybe with the viewers because they might be interested. Where's your feet to do something like that? Asking.
The feet?
Yeah, like what to just come and check up
do an analysis.
Like an assessment.
By you,
on where you might be.
We don't charge specifically just for the analysis unless you're an existing client.
Okay,
what we would do is an initial assessment of everything, your lifestyle, your health history.
So what's the fee on that?
Our initial consultation is $500.
Yeah, that's very good,
but that
man,
gets
for
you
your health.
started with a plan.
Yeah, because you get an entire...
and everything is personalized, right? We don't just hand you some generic plan that you could pull off the internet. We personalize it based on your assessment and those numbers. We personalize your meal plan and your recommendations.
So you'll provide coaching as well for the person. Oh, that is so nice.
You're a personal trainer?
I am among other things, yes. I am.
That's one of the things.
I am a registered dietitian, right? Which is the clinically trained nutritionist, as well as a health coach, life coach, and a trainer. So we give a very holistic approach to lifestyle change.
Okay, nice. So on that note, I want to ask, right? Now there's some people, which I don't know if you tell me if it's true or not from your field, right? Are there some people who, so I'll ask the question first, are there some people who genetically are more prone to get overweight?
Definitely.
That's a good
question.
Okay, so my question is two things, right? If it is that there are some people like obviously if you're just lazy and you're gaining weight, the natural thing is to maybe go and exercise. But if there are people who maybe have like a issue medically, right? Is there a way they could start? Also, I want to know the answer, maybe two, right? So you can take all your answer, right? If they're in that state where they reach a point where they're overweight because of maybe just the genetics, and if there are people who can maybe realize, well, this is how, they see in genetics, their family was like maybe prone to be overweight. What they could do to maybe not go down that route, so maybe you could answer.
Can I answer that? And is it harder for that person who's genetically prone to
lose?
Right.
Yeah.
Good
you got all of that?
Yeah, that's a lot.
I got all that.
Yeah.
Before I dive into it, I want to give it a little bit more context, which is that where the broader question is why do people get to reach the state of being overweight, right? So, and there are many reasons. As Onika pointed out earlier, there's the misconception that you're just eating too much, right? And that's not always the case. So, genetics is one, right? There are, of course, from birth in the womb. I just had a baby.
Really?
So,
Congratulations!
So I'm very.
You just had a baby? Wow.
I did. So I'm very aware of what's going on in baby world at this time.
Right.
And so what happens in the womb? From in the womb, so genetics is determined by God. Let's say that, right? Then there's nurturing, as in environmental effects. That starts from in the womb. So if you as a pregnant woman drinking sodas all it while you're pregnant. That in itself is starting to change the metabolism of the baby.
That makes a lot of sense.
It's and you may come out saying, oh, well, it's genetic, but there's this difference,
right?
Your genes are your genes. And then there's the environment
and
how
your
genes are your genes.
They say your genes or your genes, but
right? But then the environment, starting from in the womb, and then once they come out of the womb, adapts, or the genes adapt to what's going on in the environment. Yeah. Right? So there's those factors. So when we say, well, my whole family is big, and so it's in my genes. There's truth to that, but there's also the factor of, okay, but everybody in your family eats this way.
Right.
That could be why everybody in your family is big.
Like in Trinidad, we have Sunday lunch.
Well, I'm glad you bring that up.
And Sunday lunch is like two different type of pie.
Yeah, I think we don't eat. It's about plenty starch, macaroni pie, macaroni salad.
And then a lot of
salad is like one slice of cucumber and a tomato. That's the salad, right? But potato salad, rice, pie.
It's too much.
Yeah, provision, all in one.
That's a big reason why Trinidad and Tobago have a big issue with it, because that's actually like a cultural thing. People,
and even outside of Sunday, when people buying lunch, I remember my mom always used to tell us, don't take potato and potato. In other words, don't take potato salad and then take
mashed
potato pie. Yeah, why take? So that's, I kind of learned that from small, but that's how people generally, they go, let me get the potato salad, let me get some macaroni salad, and that's how they...
Yeah, we feel like we have to have it all and all on one plate and all at once.
And you actually feel sluggish.
Of course, you have to go and nap after. Yeah.
Well, I guess some people were like when they're younger, because we've seen it from young.
And that's how we were trained. That's how we were trained.
Because like we know somebody personally who maybe the child is maybe like we say overweight for a little boy, but it's not really his fault. It's really the parents just feeding him.
Childhood obesity is really becoming a big issue, and it's not just that the child is chubby. Now the children have high cholesterol, high blood pressure. Right? So there are real health issues that come along with the childhood obesity.
Do you have like an age of a child that you could say that you've experienced where they've had high cholesterol? Like what is like the youngest age you've encountered, if you have?
Through work with doctors, we do most of our work comes through referral with doctors. We've had a 9-year-old with high cholesterol.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's serious, guys.
It's real. It's
and
real.
When in a scenario like that, it's not like you would blame him. You know what I mean? It's really parents something you had to say, well, why, you know? Because you had to have some control. Like the way parents would like maybe force the children to eat vegetables. Yeah. Somehow, you know, but I think that's a real...
times it's that the parents themselves don't
yeah, that was saying but I think that was I think it's an interesting point you make that when you're pregnant, you have to actually be watching you want to eat it because that's actually a time people is actually pick out sometimes.
Or they use it as an excuse, I'm eating for two. Now, is that really true? Are you really eating for two? I know they say that.
They say,
you are. Yes, you are. Well, I heard that theory otherwise that you're not eating for two. That you should. Thank you.
Yeah, but technically you are with nutrition's going to
no, I mean you're not eating more.
Right, but that's what I meant. But people use that and say they're eating more.
People tend to say eating for two, not in the mind, you think you have to double.
Correct, that's what I mean. That's what I meant.
You don't have to eat like that.
Could you get back to the genetics?
Yes. The genetics,
yes, go ahead.
So when we consider the factors that contribute to being overweight, so we have genetics on one hand, and then we have nurture, lifestyle, environment that would also contribute. And then you have medical issues, right? So injury is number one and something we don't think about, where you could be good today, going about your normal life, you fall, you break something, you can't walk, you surgery. That is something that I experienced personally, but I see it all the time, right? It's really, really hard to stop the weight gain if you're just lying in bed all day because you're injured, right? And then there are other medical conditions that could cause you to, as we say, blow up. Right. You know, very quickly, which is not normal weight gain, right? So things like having to go on steroids. Right, that's a big one. That's a big one.
Isn't this birth control really cause women to
I don't know.
Some
Ask
women.
that question.
Some women, yes. Some birth control, and it affects different women differently. So yeah.
So like even when you're taking that, as you had to go by your doctor to find out certain things, or asking how would a woman know?
Yeah,
well,
I guess you wouldn't know unless you try it.
No, until
you
you
try it? Oh, I think you can
Exactly.
actually check and see like what happened it or something.
You try it and
if you find you putting on
aware
weight,
of yourself.
Yeah.
Okay,
But a lot of times, if you're busy, you don't notice
You don't
until
notice.
it's late.
Until your husband tells you.
Until your husband tells you.
Well, until if your husband can tell you, but anyhow.
Until you realize, the clothes and by you may not, even then you may not associate it with the pill. So it may be a while, a year down the road when you realize, it's really since I went on the pill that it started. So there's so many reasons why someone could be overweight that really, really judging people, I think is just so unacceptable because you do not know the person's story, you don't know where they came from, you don't know their history, medical, family. So
how can they stop it now? Right? How do you address an issue like that? Because it starts off from the young.
One,
even in the womb, we're saying, right? So
yes. One, you have to acknowledge that you do have the power to change
how you look.
yourself, right? To answer your question, yes, it would be more difficult for someone who has a medical condition or a genetic predisposition to be overweight. But notice the word I use, right? When we're talking about genetics, it's a predisposition.
Right.
Right? It's not your fate or your destiny.
Right.
Because your genes do adapt.
Yeah.
So whatever is going on.
Right.
You do have some control over what's going on, even though you may have a genetic predisposition. Right? But it would be more challenging, as you said, to lose the weight if there is that genetic factor going on. So one, you have to know that it's possible, because some people just throw their hands up, oh, my mother big, my father big, I was big my whole life, so and they just don't even try. They don't even bother to do anything, right? But even at that, in that situation, you can do something, because one, it's not just about weight, it's about health. So you always want to think about it from a health aspect, right? Not just the social and image aspect. So you may be happy with how you look, and if you're healthy and overweight, no problem.
That's possible.
It is possible.
In what way?
Yes. As in, two people go to the doctor. One is even obese, on the lower end of obese. I've never really seen it on the high end, but on the lower end of, let's say, BMI 30 and under, definitely. Two people go to the doctor. One is overweight or obese. One is skinny, normal weight. The obese person has zero health complication. Everything checking out good. No cholesterol problems. No blood pressure problems. Sugar is fine. Like it is. I see it all the time. Like nothing is wrong with them. Health-wise, their energy levels are high. They are active. They work out. They're fit. Right? Whereas the skinny person just assumes, well, I'm skinny. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to go to the gym. I don't have to run or get cardio because I'm skinny already. So why are you doing cardio for? Right? For your heart. You're doing it for your heart. Right for your heart.
So I ask a question on that note. So if somebody is like that way, they're not affecting their heart, they're big.
The body has a way of adapting. And again, especially if you've been that way your whole life, your body has kind of figured out how to manage. Right? So it is possible. Now, there's a question is over time. Is it just a matter of time? Right.
Like this,
Yeah, so maybe when they may be healthy now, but maybe 20 years down the road.
Because it's so long.
The extra strain may have
naturally,
an effect.
everybody's metabolism, they slow down every different. Your body will start to adjust as you start to get older, right?
Yeah, right? But it's true for an overweight or obese person just as it's true for a skinny person. It's the same. All of our bodies are going to start degenerating and having issues as we get older. So that's why exercise is for everyone, not just for fat people.
Right. Let me ask you, is it possible for someone to be overweight but eating healthy? So it's not that I'm eating cake every day, I'm not having ice cream every weekend, I'm not eating a lot of carbs, I have a healthy diet, I don't eat a lot of carbs, but I am overweight.
Definitely, yes. We at Empower Nutrition, we definitely see that all the time. It's quite common.
Why is that? I see some vegetarians, they put on a lot of size too.
Oh yes, that's the common one.
Why does that happen?
Oh, okay, so let's do the first
Yes,
one.
I love
right?
that
Because it's two different answers.
Oh, okay.
Similar but different. So the first one is, how is it possible to eat healthy and still be overweight? And I have to clarify all the time. We do group programs at Empower. And so when you work in a group, it's interesting to see the differences.
Dynamics.
So the dynamics, right?
Yeah.
So everyone's eating pretty much the same. Some people lose a lot of weight, some people don't lose weight. Right? So it's very interesting to see, but they may lose inches. So we have inchers and we have pounders, we call them, right? Some people drop pounds really easily. Some people may not drop a single pound, but the inches, they start
and that's
losing
where the
inches.
muscle is
right?
replaced with
The
fat.
difference in body composition and yeah. So the key answer to your question is that a healthy diet is different from a weight loss diet. So you can have a healthy diet, be eating healthy foods, making good food choices, but it's still too much for your metabolism.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay.
Right? So for example, we had this one woman, she came to one of our groups, and we loved her because she would always bring food. She was, she loved to cook. She loved to cook, she loved to bake, and she would make the most amazing, like really healthy stuff. So like, she made this black cake muffin. I mean, the thing tastes so good, but it's almond flour, coconut flour, and you know, no sugar, but dates and raisins. So all whole foods, all natural, really good stuff. But when you do the caloric analysis on those healthy things, it's very high, right? So you may be telling yourself, oh, this is healthy, and you're chowing it down. You know,
Because
you have
even
2 or
natural
3 because you're thinking, well,
juices
it's
have plenty
healthy.
sugar in it, eh?
Right. So calories are calories are calories. It doesn't matter if it's healthy
If it's healthy or
calories
not,
or unhealthy. It still can be too. If it's too much, you're gonna store it. Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. So let me hear what is going on online, and maybe people might have questions. We can come back to it, but let me hear if there's anybody have questions going on online.
Great. So guys, this is your opportunity. We are back to me now. So if you want to call in, remember, feel free to call in. That number that you're calling is 492-8255 or 492-TALK, all right? So let me get in some of your comments. We do have some questions, actually. I want to get everything in. Let's start with Anthony McLeod. His question was, thoughts on getting slim, quick, drinks and teas? Question mark. Thoughts on get slim, quick, drinks and teas?
Get slim, quick.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, that's how we're asking it.
Yes.
Thoughts on that?
So get slim quick. Just let's break that down, right? I like to say get slim quick, gain it back even quicker.
Sure.
So when you go for the fad,
Story of my life,
the
yeah.
quick weight loss trends, right? So whether it's the drinks, teas, or any other quick lose 10 pounds in a week, the 10 pounds are gonna come back as soon as you stop whatever you're doing, right? And they're gonna bring friends usually. They come back
True, because
with friends.
your body missing
Right?
it. Then, you know,
Yeah. So specifically the drinks and teas, there's so many on the market. It's hard
That's
to
a
It's
three
true,
ballerina
yeah.
Chinese one. You ever heard about that one?
Yeah, no, and
What's the name,
now
eh?
there's people are calling
three
me,
ballerina
asking me if I'm
Chinese
selling
tea.
keto pills.
What is that?
I
Is
don't
it
even
with
know
the keto
exactly.
diet? Is that
It
linked
goes
to the
with
keto diet?
Yeah.
Where's that for? Where's
No,
this?
well, let's not
Keto?
talk about
Yeah,
the keto.
let's
no,
not.
we don't
I don't even know what it is.
Is that for
That's
two?
no.
But anyhow, go ahead.
Right, but there's so many different drinks. Now teas, right? There are many different teas. Some of the teas do have some beneficial, they're usually herbal,
It's
right?
true, yeah.
A lot of them really just make you go to the bathroom a lot,
Yes.
right? So you're like, oh, I'm losing so much weight. But really it's just,
Because you get rid of everything you
you
eat.
got rid of some things, right? So a lot of the teas have that type of effect, right? The drinks, there are all sorts of different drinks, whether they have probiotics.
So generally, you wouldn't recommend it.
Not that I wouldn't recommend it. They do not replace doing the work with your
Lifestyle.
diet.
Yeah, they
and
wouldn't really
lifestyle.
replace like
Diet
exercise
and exercise,
everything.
it
You can't
doesn't
really.
replace that. It can complement it,
Right.
but it doesn't replace
Place it.
Okay, awesome. Let me hear this. I like something there, Eva.
All right. Before I get into another
can't
question,
read
I want
the
to say
things.
good night to
Tell me
Indra
something.
Ganga and Talita Grant. Good night and welcome to the show, guys. Let's see. By the way, Neeks Kerwin said that he find you quiet, but that was earlier on though. You actually were quiet, Nikki, and I were having a good laugh about that. Let's see. KD, it was mentioned that medical conditions and medications induce weight gain. Do you by chance have stats on the causes of obesity, and what is the largest contributing factor to obesity? No?
Those stats in Trinidad.
All right, but what about the last part of the question, though? What is the largest contributing factor to obesity?
That would just be my opinion. I really can't say it with any fact what it would be.
So you want to go ahead and state
But
it?
in my opinion, in my opinion, a combination of overeating and sedentary lifestyle.
Okay.
Let's say goodnight to Easy Rage. KD, goodnight to you as well. So true, persons assume that a thin body size is healthy or fit when it's not so great info. Great info, yes. Aniala, wow, that's a good point. Healthy diet versus weight loss diet. Sarana, good night to you. She says she's learning a lot here. Thanks, guys. Easy Rage, being a healthy person is a broad spectrum. It's like asking how far can a healthy person walk. I'm not sure if that's a question or more of a statement. Easy Rage. So maybe if you have a more specific question, you could repost and maybe rephrase. I have a question. Is water weight a real thing? Is there a way to determine if you have water weight, so without having to go to, or no, there's no way to.
There's something like water weight?
Yes.
Wow.
Of course.
Especially for women.
Right around their period, right?
Around that time of the month.
But how do you know though if you?
So the same body scan device it gives, it's not accurate per se, but we can see it a little bit if we have previous measurements and we can compare, we can say, okay, well, this is up, but we can see that it's probably water.
I really realize when I go in the beach and come out that it's gain weight in me, but anyhow.
Okay. Why Kyle on the show again tonight, guys? Remind me.
Actually, that should be different because you're in salt water.
Right.
I think it's
So
really
we
important for a
have
woman to know her body.
Another question to Lita
you get to
Grant.
know.
How do you maintain a vegan diet?
Oh, okay. So
we
his
did not say
question was
any
about
the-
vegetarians,
Yes.
right?
Uh-huh.
And so vegan. So let's get into that. And I like to start my discussion about vegetarian and vegan diets by saying that I was vegan for 10
You was?
years. I
10
was.
years?
Right?
Wow.
So a lot of, when I
Excited.
Uncle Kyle.
You see the
when
walls
I
back
don't
there.
say that, people assume that I'm automatically being negative about the diet.
Right.
Right? But I'm saying that so people understand that it's from personal experience as well as my experience as a nutritionist, right?
Right.
So what happens a lot of times is your body has certain needs, right? We need a certain amount of calories just to function on a basic level. We need a certain amount of protein, carbs, fat, fiber, all of these things, right? So there's no carbs are not evil, you need a certain amount. Everyone, they're like fuel. So just like a car, we know the car needs to run properly. A car needs fuel to match its, right? Your car put the regular fuel in the premium car and expect it to run good, right? So the correct fuel for your type of car, it needs to change oil, it needs these different things for it to run properly. Right? So if you think of your body like that and you start to think about food like that, then you'll understand where we make some of the mistakes, right? So vegetarians,
I'll never make that mistake. Good.
Vegetarians, it's very possible to be happy and have a vegetarian diet, but it's also very easy to not give your body what it needs. Right? And it doesn't matter where it comes from, but you have to figure out how to get it.
Right.
So if you cut out meat of all kinds, including fish, eggs, so all sorts of meat, in Trinidad, a lot of vegetarians still eat fish, right? So that's less of an issue because you still have a defined, easy source of high protein. Right? But if you cut out all the animal products, then yes, there's protein in plant foods, but there's
not
less.
enough.
Right.
Not that it's not enough, it's definitely less.
Yeah, they mean much
more. So automatically your carb intake goes up.
Wow.
Right, because you have to eat more
Of course,
to get
but there's
what
no
you need.
if, and,
This
or
making
buts
real
about it,
sense.
Right? So it's automatic. So I like to tell people, if you decide you want to be vegetarian, you want to be vegan, come and figure out what's going on with your body and how you can meet your needs. Don't just try to, because what happened to me happens to a lot of people. You can actually become more sick and do more harm than good in the long term. Right? So when people, we actually did, we had interns, right? So we had an intern who was studying nutrition in school, and she had to do a project, and she chose to do it on the vegan diet. And so she went to different events and she interviewed people and asked certain questions. And from her project, we actually, most of the people who were like all gung-ho about the diet, had been on it for less than 6 months.
Wow.
And they're like, oh my God, it's so amazing, it's the best thing. Right, that's all well and good, but you try staying on it for 5 years, 10 years. If you don't know what you're doing, you're going to end up in problems.
Wow. Can I ask,
right?
You said you got sick eventually. What started happening, if you don't mind?
Right, well, the first sign was, again, now, to be clear, I was sort of vegan, and then I went into raw foods and the whole 9
The raw food thing, I know that's our next movement
right?
too.
So I started breaking out. Like when you first start the diet, everything is awesome. My skin cleared up, glowing. You lose the weight, the energy levels are through the roof. You know, your mood, like your mental space. So it's all la la la, and you think, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. Everyone should eat like this, right? But then as time goes on, the same diet that got you feeling so awesome, if you stay on it too long and it's out of balance, you're going to end up, so energy levels started to go down. I started breaking out. I was like, oh my God, how am I breaking out of eating vegetables? Like really, like how, right? And then I started having all sorts of reactions. So intolerances and allergies.
Yeah, we know
so
somebody
that was developed because of...
Yes, so there is your body becomes so sensitive, right? And so not exposed to, you know, as many, like it's almost like too clean, right? So you become more sensitive to things in the environment, certain foods, all of a sudden you can't tolerate them. I stopped being able to tolerate nuts, and that was one of my main sources of protein, but I probably ate too many of them, because it was my main source of protein, right? And there's a condition called leaky gut syndrome.
Yes, I heard about that. Leaky gut syndrome.
It's not really talked about in medical circles, but I was trained in what's called functional medicine. So nutrition. I'm not a doctor, right? But functional medicine, the nutrition side of it, and they assess the body a little differently, right? So it's a more integrative approach, and it's a real thing where your gut is supposed to serve as a barrier to keep what's supposed to stay out stays out, and what's supposed to get absorbed gets absorbed, right? When I think what happened with me, your protein intake gets too low. The lining of your gut, actually, the little holes start to be poked. So that's why it's called leaky gut. So now things that are supposed to not be able to enter your system, enter your system. So that can trigger a lot of different reactions. Oh, well, you'll have to come.
Okay, cool. Let's not go there. No, but it's a serious thing we're asking because,
But just to wrap up the whole point about the vegetarian and vegan, one of the main problems is that their protein intake is too low. So yes, there is protein in vegetable foods, but you do have to make sure you're getting enough and figure out how to get enough.
Do vegans eat beans, peas?
They do eat beans and peas.
But like she's saying,
there's
only
but
so much.
Beans and peas are actually more of a carb than a protein. They do have a lot of protein, but let's say a half a cup is a serving. That would have about 15 grams of carbs and 7 grams of protein. Whoa. So it's still more carb than protein.
I never knew that.
That's why I said, yes, you can get protein, but there's no question that your carb intake is going to increase. So I like to say, if you decide you want to go vegetarian, exercise is not optional. The day you start going 100% vegetarian, start that walking, start doing your cardio.
Hey,
because
smile at the camera.
If you don't, but think about it in evolutionary terms, right? Tribes or cultures that are vegetarian, they have to go and harvest their food. So guess what? They are walking for miles and going to harvest the vegetables.
You just cleared up a lot for me.
Boy, this is so
Because you see vegetarians putting on weight and you think,
How
that
come?
possible?
Yeah. How is
You know?
Wow. See, the Lord knows best. He make fish. You see, you know,
Eat
Jesus
your
used to make gary fish.
This is not from the diet
Oh my
Empower
gosh.
Nutrition. This is me. Eat your
Yes.
meat and get
But
your
then
On a
there's
real
even
note,
a
just to
certain
add to
amount.
this-
I mean, there's proportions on the plate, right? The amount of meat, the amount of veg, the amount of So
Yeah.
eat your meat, eat your
I mean,
fish.
that's adding on
I
some.
would like to clarify
Yes.
that I am saying that it is possible to have a healthy vegetarian.
Of
diet.
course.
Right, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
most
So
of
long.
them
But it
don't know what
takes
they're
some,
doing.
it takes
Yes.
some thought and some planning. So
Yes.
you have to really know what you're doing.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what you do it.
Yeah.
But I also know there's a reason why God said we could eat the meat now. Once upon a time we couldn't, right? But something with the fall of man, our body, maybe it need more protein, it need more
True.
certain things that we would not be able, you know?
Actually, you have a good point.
Because there's a
Yes,
reason why it
there's a
changed,
reason
eh?
why
It
it
just
changed.
God and they say stop all of us and all they can eat meat. There's a
True.
reason why we had to eat now.
It
You
starts-
sweat up our brow, we had to work hard, we had to, you know?
So you need the
You
chicken.
might have much. Benny, any other questions, Eva?
I do have a question. Which is more healthier, red meat or white meat?
Red meat or white meat?
I'd say white meat.
It's not healthy.
White meat is.
I think that's such a racist statement against the meat. You know, red or white. Like,
She incited. She incited with this red and
What is
white.
white meat though?
White meat
and,
is
you know,
chicken.
I'm
Yeah.
saying
Pork
that
and pork too.
I'm saying that as a joke, but
Chicken
really,
and pork?
Yeah, I know.
my
Other white
point
meat.
is that I feel like we focus too much on classifying foods as good as bad. Red meat is bad. White meat is good. I feel like we need to move away from that and really look at what we are eating.
Eating, I
So
think it's true.
there is, you can get healthy cuts of lean beef that could be just as nourishing to your body as, and actually leaner. There are some cuts of beef that are leaner than a chicken thigh.
Yes.
Because remember,
Yeah.
chicken thighs
Very
and
fat.
legs
Get
have
the
with the
thigh.
skin and they
Yeah.
have high fat. So to say that white meat is lean and red meat is fattening is, you're not being
yeah.
fair. So it's not a fair comparison,
Yeah.
right? You can have a very lean cut of red meat.
That is
and you can
equivalent to
have
a piece of breast in chicken.
Exactly.
Okay.
And you can have, you know, fried battered chicken. But if
That's my question is-
which is less healthy than the lean cut
A
of
healthy
red
person
meat.
can eat KFC?
Correct.
Oh gosh, I stay away from the topic of KFC. This is real talk show, right?
No, yeah.
The real talk show. I don't want to buy
KFC
healthy
has
person.
a very,
You have to be real.
you know, some
I
of the
don't
panel
know about-
I'm not
members just
gonna
have
fall
a
into
close
that
relationship
Right.
with
I'm not
KFC.
falling into that trap.
But could a healthy person eat a piece of KFC?
Why is this
Yeah,
even a
yeah.
question?
Because I want to know.
You ain't got dead.
A question.
I think everything in moderation. Go eat KFC every day or fried chicken every day.
All right.
What you say?
She's not saying that.
She not saying that?
She can't fall into that trap
don't
because
fall
she
into
knows
that trap.
she's eating a little KFC.
No, I really don't. And
don't?
we've had this debate with clients. They're like, so you don't miss it, honestly. I mean, you must be,
No, that's about
you
missing
must
anything.
really, so you don't
So you
crave
eat
a little
no-
piece of
you
KFC?
eat no fried
I
chicken at all?
honestly don't. I honestly
No
do
fried
not.
chicken at all?
If I want a piece of fried chicken, I have a friend who cooks really well and she makes really nice homemade fried chicken.
Okay.
Right.
I know what she put
What
in
she
the
put in it.
chicken and it's home and I know she fried it in fresh oil and it tasting good.
It's true because we
right?
do know when them herbs and spices because it's a secret.
You see why I don't want to even go
Yeah.
there because,
No, we don't go down that road.
We
Yeah, I
know
don't
when
wanna
them
go
herbs
there.
and spices. Any other question? We're trying to speed it up a little bit.
Yes. Let me just, I want to look for questions first before I just read the comments. I'm not seeing any more questions, I think, but everybody is like,
They're making us a comments on it.
they're taking in a lot of stuff.
Because that vegan thing threw them off because it's been taught different. But
One
anyhow,
comment I
yeah.
actually really want to get into. Junior Simon says, Kyle, mind blown.
Kind what?
Mind
With
blown.
the
We
vegan
all
thing now,
know
they're
why.
getting bigger.
All right. Let me see my giveaways. I didn't get to do my second giveaway, which would be to Easy Rage. Congratulations, you are the winner of our
Easy
monthly
Rage.
speaker. Congrats. And my final giveaway. Unfortunately, I think someone was trying to send in a voice note, but we did not get it. In the future, what you can do is just give us a call, all right? So let me see who is going to be the winner of this VR headset.
Axel, just now, right? That's I don't know if you have any other questions. I just want to, close off the segment.
You could go, okay, yeah, there's a question here. What about the link that science has determined between red meat and cancer? Would you still recommend red meat on that basis?
That's a good point, and that's why you personalize recommendations. So there are many causes of cancer. Cancer is actually my background in terms of research. Before I was a dietitian, I was a researcher. So yeah, again, I think it's if someone comes to me with a cancer diagnosis or specifically wanting to prevent cancer, I would recommend them to stay away from red meat, but also to control the total amount of meat. Because the way the meat is grown is another issue, right? So not just, okay, well, don't eat red meat, but eat all the chicken you want. Because the thing, especially for a woman, let's say it's breast cancer, you don't want them going and eating a bunch of chicken because the chicken has a lot of hormones, right? So you have to be, I guess my main point is I want to encourage people to think a little more deeply about the food issues and not just go with the, the fads and the general advice. Fads.
Like the new things. I heard something else, but yeah, go ahead.
The fads and the very general advice. What does it mean for you, right? So if you know there's research about cancer and red meat, great. Choose a different protein option. But if you have breast cancer, just be aware that it doesn't mean that I should eat more chicken.
Right? Before, we want to thank you for having on your show. Yeah. Before you go, I would like you to...
I'm so sorry to cut you, but we actually have a call coming in and we didn't get to answer calls earlier on.
Sure.
So can we just take the call really quick?
Sure.
Okay, cool.
All right. Hi, good night.
Hi, good night, good night.
Hey, good night.
So I want to ask a question about fruitarians and breedtarians. People who live there. I have a couple who live off of just breathing the air for 9 years. What is the expert on the panel? Is that a real thing? Or what about the man in Trinidad and the other man who claimed he fasts longer than Jesus? He fasts for like 40 days plus for the highway. So is that real or is that fake? I'll hang up and listen.
All right, thanks for calling in, caller. Yeah?
Yes. Okay, so again, because of my personal dabbling in the world of extreme diets like raw foods and such, I interacted with people who did such things.
Wow.
So I would say, yes, it's real.
Breathe the air? Just breathe air for...
Breatharian, fruitarian.
I've never heard
you
of...
met somebody
What you mean,
breatharian?
so they're not eating?
Not eating.
So how does live?
So how...
or they may... I don't know if it's zero. Some of them, like, it's very minimal, like that, not enough to be nutritionally sufficient.
Oh, okay.
But I like to say that proves the point that all of the above, the fasting for more than 40 days, the living on air, that I use it as an example. People think, oh my God, don't eat for a whole day, I'll die. And we have this very extreme attachment to food. That is not real, right? It's a mind. Exactly. So we have been trained and brought up to believe that we have to have food and we have to have it every day and we'll die if we don't eat, right? So I look at those extremes, because there are extremes, as proof that you won't die.
You won't die. Yeah.
You won't die
if you
don't eat, even for a few days.
That sounds like some extreme sports.
You will be fine, and it also goes to the power of the mental. Right? And these people tend to do other things. So, for example, there was a situation where my dad, who's been called a health fanatic by some, but he went to this person who called themselves a doctor. They're not a medical doctor. I'm not sure if they're a doctor at all. But he went to this person, and the person was...
Travis says.
No, not Travis says. The person basically promotes a raw food diet, and he's an older person, about the same age as my dad, and he looked pretty good, and he cycles, all does a lot of long distance cycling, so his energy is obviously good. So my dad was very enamored with this concept, and wanted me to meet the man, because the man is so awesome. And so in listening and asking questions, what I realized was, okay, we look at people who do these extreme things on the surface and we become enamored, but you don't know what else goes along with that lifestyle. So for example, this man in particular, he has in his back room, because it's administered to his patients, but he lives there, so he could take it at any time. does ozone therapy, so oxygen therapy. So,
understand.
You know, he may not be getting energy from food, but he can go
and just
hook himself up to oxygen at any time and get a boost in energy and go on a ride whole day. You know? So you can't do that because he's going to charge you $500 every time you want to get a boost in oxygen, right?
Wow.
So there are always different factors, right? Even with the extreme diets, the fruiteria and the raw foods. Again, we see on the internet women who are 70-something and they look like 40-something and it's because of the raw food diet. But guess what? They have their whole backyard is planted with their food. If they are going to eat a salad, they are going into their backyard, picking it straight off the tree and eating it. So it's a different level of nutrition and nourishment that they're getting. They're not going to the grocery and buying the thing not on the shelf for a week and with pesticides and stuff. So there are these little factors that we have to figure out if it's practical for our lifestyle. And if you want to go to that extreme, being real about what it entails and what it's going to cost you.
Awesome stuff, you know. So like we say, we want to thank you, but I want to leave how people can, because a lot of people I know want to contact. So how
in touch with you and so on.
All right,
with your Facebook, your number,
The Facebook, well, online, Instagram, Facebook, you can type in #EmpowerNutritionTT. Right, you'll find us on Facebook, Instagram. Our website is empowernutritiontt.com, or you could always just give us a call at 795-9311.
Awesome stuff. So thanks again, and you know, maybe I'll pay a visit.
We would love to see you.
Yes.
What?
Thank you guys. What new hits? Many alright.
Thank you guys for having me.
It was great.
Awesome.
It was informative. Very informative.
It was great. It was great. If you hear anything else going on online, why we bring back Mark?
Everybody just crazy about the whole. I don't even know how is it pronounced? The breed thing. Breatharian. So. It's the, like,
that caller is well informed.
Yes, he is indeed. And actually, caller, congratulations. You are the winner of our VR headsets. Wow. Congratulations to you. Yes.
Why you clapping like that to me?
Because you're quite happy. I wonder why. Anyway, guys, it was really awesome having all of you tonight. All of your comments was really awesome. Remember, guys, these videos, our show is always on our page, so you can go back and you can check it out. If you missed something, remember to share, okay? And for all of you who are viewing, remember, if you like this show, if you like what you saw tonight, give us a little thumbs up, give us a like, and remember to share the page, all right? On YouTube. Sorry, I almost forgot YouTube. If you have viewed the show already, I apologize. Remember to subscribe, and you could click that little bell so that every time we go live, you can get a notification, all right? We're going to go back to Kyle now. Thanks so much for everyone. Oh, I want to say goodnight to Cynthia Seeley, Rachel McNeish. I'm now seeing some names coming up here. So good night to everyone. Any comment that I missed, I'm so sorry, but we can't get every single one in. Enjoy the rest of your night. I hope this show really blessed you, and I hope you are well informed now about your eating habits and everything else. And we're going to go back to Kyle now. Good night from me. Bye-bye, everyone.
Awesome stuff, you know, as we close off, you know, we talk about the scientific, the health part, you know, everything, right? But, you know, in true praying for people, we also discover that there are elements spiritually that are trying to hinder people when it comes to their health. That they actually,
you were hindered just now.
He was hindered.
I was hindered. Yeah. But, you know, so I just don't want to leave where this thing every time is always, because some people have habits that they have in their life, and it's not linked to just from eating.
Or genetics.
Yeah, genetics. There's spiritual things that drive people sometimes. Where they, you know, there's some people that can't see certain foods and not eat it, and they wonder why. Not necessarily all the time is their body is what wanting it, you know. Sometimes it's, you know, greed. Sometimes, and many times, sometimes people wonder, well, how do you break off certain, because there's something real with them now. So sometimes they're feeling this drivenness, but many times, do you know, when it is you actually you acknowledge that maybe sometimes there's something more going on here. You get to realize, well, wait, now there's something, you know, so you maybe go to somebody healthy. And a simple way to overcome that, maybe it's just you just come in disagreement with what the thoughts, the words, and you know what it's saying about your life. Another thing is that many times people who try to lose weight, sometimes because of their identity, they grow up hearing words like "you're fat,"
"you're ugly,"
"you're ugly," "nobody like you." It is. They tend to always go back to those words because that's how they actually see themselves. That's how actually deep in their heart. So they start to lose weight, but then something about it is conflict with how they really see themselves. So many times I encourage everybody who listening out there to really change. You really have to get a new identity about yourself.
Yeah.
And as you start to do that, you realize that you have a goal to achieve, that you really are this person.
Right.
Because sometimes it's really, for some people, when they're overweight, they reach that point where they can actually see their life different.
It's true.
You know what I mean? I don't know if anything else you want to add before,
Well,
you know?
I mean, I've seen and even experienced to a very small extent how food can be addictive, like other addictive, like smoking, like drinking.
Right.
I've seen where food can be, certain types of food, well, they say that sugar can be addictive.
Yeah, because
right?
when I get to Banca, you just want to eat ice cream and all kind of thing, but go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah.
That sugar can be addictive. I've heard many people say that. You know, where you get there's certain foods that if you don't train yourself, okay, you can't, like with everything else in the spiritual world, right, as a believer, you cannot just let your flesh take control.
Right. It's true.
Your flesh will naturally always lead you to greed and to lust, to more, to satisfy me. So whatever I feel for in this moment, your flesh will call for. You cannot live like that as a believer.
Wow.
You cannot live like that, because not only will it call for, hey, go and watch some porn, you get vexed, cuss that man. Your flesh will call for food that is not good for you as well.
It's very true.
The things that just taste good. Because, let me be real.
Could I confess something?
Sure, sir.
You confess it.
Sometimes, if I had a real rough day and I'm feeling down,
food, a comfort food.
I would go and buy coconut ice cream late, as make sure it's late.
Look.
Yeah, like around after 9, and eat it.
That's
so
my
confession. So that's an
and
example.
I just feel like there's a little,
boost.
like it's a vacation almost, like a little. I treat myself now.
So that's not a fleshly solution to how he's feeling. That's not a spiritual solution. That's
pray after though.
Oh gosh,
sometimes if I really feel anything, I will get something, ice cream or something.
Pick me up.
But I mean, basically what I'm saying is food can be a vice too.
Yeah,
food can be
it is. I think that's what it is, because just be laughing. Yeah.
Is it sugar, man?
I just be laughing for no reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's another show. Food can be a vice, and you can't just go with your flesh. You can't just be led by your flesh where it comes to food, because it will never lead you down a good road. If it's just what I feel for, what looking good now.
Yeah. Wow.
So just how you have to train your flesh to do good, you know, to live righteous, to do. You also have to train your flesh in terms of food and know when to stop, know what is good, what is not good. Not because it tastes good, it is good. You have to train your flesh man. And I think it's good to teach your flesh man a little lesson now and again, and don't eat as Miss Elias was saying. Take a 2-day fast and say, flesh, you relax yourself right there. Let me just concentrate on the spirit for 2 days. Right?
Good.
You go ahead, Kyle Joseph, go ahead.
I was gonna get ice cream tonight.
But I hope you've changed your mind.
Go and buy some broccoli. How to overcome evil by doing good. Buy a bunch of broccoli instead.
Broccoli actually tastes good. But you know, we want to thank everybody for viewing. You know, we will posting up our next show soon. I thank everybody. You know, and it's a real thing that we talk about today, and what was real cool about the show, this young lady had a lot of info, and I think that's like a revolutionary statement when she said that when you're eating certain foods, they could actually now, when they get older, when your child born, somehow they're drawn towards, you know?
Of course.
Yeah. To me, the biggest thing she said that impacted my life, it will never leave. I want to pass it on to my children.
Vegetarians.
Is with the vegetarians.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, because they eating lettuce, they're drinking Moby and all these different things.
Lettuce, drinking Moby.
And it's still, you know, I could be eating pig chin, and I'm just joking. But the vegetarian thing that really shocked me. Because I actually have been trying out being a vegetarian at night.
At night?
Yeah, from the time I hit my bed and sleep and I wake up, that time I'm a vegetarian.
What I didn't know is that peas and beans, I didn't realize had so much carbs.
Yeah.
I thought it was mostly protein. I didn't know that. So you think, okay, so eating healthy is not necessarily gonna cause weight loss then.
No, yes, that's what she said. There's a way to eat for weight loss, and then there's a way to eat if you just want to.
I think she like what she says is a direct thing that you put some people in the same group and the same diet. It will be different for different people.
And I'm big bone because my thing not touching that.
No, Mark, you're not doing it properly. Mark, you're not doing it properly.
But
is your index finger? Is your index finger?
Not touching them.
Nah.
You sure it's big bone?
Yeah, so
Mark, you are not big bone. Put up Mark picture, director.
He can't put it up. He'll put it up next time. But I was really thin.
Fingers would have been smaller too.
He ain't no big bone.
I'm big bone. It's not touching. It's not touching.
I saw you 10 years ago. You're
yeah,
not big bone.
but my bones was always
your
big.
Bone
My bones was always big. It's
No,
just
he's
that.
very skinny. Just the bones.
It's just that I was
marrow grow boy.
I was going through at a bank or something. I don't know what it was.
Mark, please.
Anyhow, we had an awesome night. You all be blessed in Jesus' name. We thank you for viewing. And you all, the show will still be up, so you all can share it with somebody that maybe you really, because what was amazing about the show, it wasn't like, we're trying to come down on anybody, and there's a good way you could actually learn. They learn about maybe your health, and then after maybe you could contact the,
and could I
just, nutrition.
I just want to shout out Easy Rage. Right. I think it was really honorable of you. If you're still watching, he gave up his prize.
Serious?
The man gave up his prize to somebody else. So Easy Rage.
True.
Once in region, brother, but take it easy.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you so much for being part of the show. I hope you really enjoyed it. You can go on over to our YouTube channel and click subscribe. You can also click on that bell at the bottom and you'll be able to get live notifications. For our Facebook viewers, remember to like, comment, and share, guys. Thank you so much for being part of the show. And if you'd like to come on down and be part of our live audience, we are located at number 12 Anna Street, Woodbrook. Have a great night. Thank you for being part of the show. Good night.